Last time on the channel formerly known as Texas Flex, Big Mike had just competed in his first USPA powerlifting meet. He won, first and only one in his class. Did he suffer from too much meat fatigue? And how did he do at his next two meets? Find out now. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Big Mike, and today we're gonna cover the two meets that I haven't talked about and wrap up this competition series. Okay, so all jokes aside, I'm wearing the Dragon Ball Super shirt, so I had to do the OG outro or whatever. I don't know, it was stuck in my head, but we're gonna talk about the last two meets, the 100% Raw Down South Classic Pool and the USAPL H-Town Showdown. So let's talk about the 100% Raw meet first. This one was actually pretty quick. Again, I went into the meet not really thinking about anything except for hit all your numbers and then get out, collect your medals, and or should I call them participation trophies, and then that's it. Go home, rest, deload. And that's not quite what happened. About that last week before the meet, I started to think there's no way I'm gonna pull 500 pounds at the H-Town Showdown with the stiff bar. If anything, I'll have the advantage with the deadlift bar, and I should pull it at this 100% Raw meet, or at least attempt a higher deadlift attempt. And in doing so, I kind of also hyped myself up. I didn't realize how fast the meet would go, and I ended up not even really warming up for deadlifts, which really screwed me over. But let's talk about strict curl first. So on the strict curl, again, I had no plans, so just hitting a number would have been fine. But we ended up hitting a meet PR of 115 pounds. As far as competition strict curls go, I do think I had a little bit left in the tank, but with that gopher bar, you just don't know. I thought I'd play it safe as opposed to, going up too much. Even just 1 or 2 pounds can really dictate how the bar is going to move in your hands, and if you just don't have the grip strength to hold that bar in position, it could be 1 or 2 pounds too much. Now, like I said on the deadlift, oh man, I really don't want to make excuses, but my sights maybe were just too high. So we started out with, well, first I had submitted that I was going to start with 418 pounds. That was not what happened. I jumped up to 429 pounds or so, and I thought that would be a good conservative opener. Again, I did not realize that not everybody that was doing the strict curl, which went first, wouldn't do the deadlifts. So the deadlifts went a lot faster, and it took them almost no time to get to me. So I warmed up with the bar, and then 300 pounds, and then straight to 429 pounds. And yeah, it moved slow. I went up to 463 because I thought maybe I could pull like 480 something. That didn't happen. They loaded 462 and it moved. So PR, boom, done, right? We should have just left it at that, but we didn't. We loaded up 473 and I missed it. It was a little bit of a shocker. I really thought I had that in the bag from previous training sessions. I thought, okay, this is a deadlift bar, not a stiff bar, so it'll be easier. And yet it was not. So now moving on to the deload. In the deload, just really quick, I wanted to mention that ever since I started my peak, even before the John Griffin, man, I was feeling weak. Like, I think I just rushed my bench way too much. I hit an all-time PR of 242 pounds for 3 at like an RPE 10 on my last strength cycle. And going into my peak, I adjusted my numbers kind of to that as if it was like a RPE 8, RPE 9. I don't know why I did that. I was just feeling the hype, and I felt like, if I go too low, I won't have enough specificity as far as like heavy loads go. I was wrong. That I should not have done that. And in the back of my mind, or at least as a coach, I knew that. But as an athlete, you want to push yourself. You want to do as best as you can. You want to do better than that. And so that's what I did. And in doing so, I really messed myself up. I took about 10 days of deload on my bench press, and it still wasn't enough. So let's now talk about the USAPL H-Town Showdown. Okay, so for this meet, we went in knowing that we were not going to hit the projected 400-pound squat and the projected 500-pound deadlift. And bench press, again, I was kind of just living on that dream. It'll be there on meet day. Let's start with squats. So for squats, we loaded up 341, my last attempt at the John Griffin. And boy, this opener was solid. Depth was good. Speed was good. I felt like I didn't even have weight on my back. We went up to 363, and that felt okay. I felt like I did struggle more than the video suggests. I don't know. That in mind, I went up to 374, and I had attempted this on my peaking phase and failed it. Not a RPE 10 fail, I think I just gave up. I explained that in my last video, but I knew I had this in the bag, and yet because of that last attempt, I felt like if I cut my depth a little short, I would get it a little bit easier, especially since I had a little bit of room for that.
Come on, Mike, let's do it. Come on, Mike. I want to say that's a good lift from my angle. It did look a little high. The judges also agreed with me because 9 out of 10 times I am right. Unfortunately, he did not get that lift.
That was a mistake. I should have just, hit depth and really hit it hard, but I didn't. And this was my first time getting hit for depth. And as I was in the squat, I totally agreed with the judges. Now looking back, I kind of want to convince myself that it was depth, but again, it is what it is. Boom, got hit for depth, 2 red lights, missed attempt. Moving on to bench press. Man, I should have went with my gut and stopped myself and opened a little bit lighter. Even if I just didn't PR at all or hit like a conservative number, that would have been great. But I opened way too damn high. 236 or 237 pounds was on the bar. And coming down, I felt like, yes, bench was in the bag. But then I got stuck and it just wouldn't move. I never felt that before. And I knew my second attempt and third attempt were lost. I came into my second attempt actually feeling kind of confident. Nope, didn't move. And of course, my third attempt also just, it's almost like I didn't have anything inside, like no strength whatsoever. Yes, I was a little annoyed and frustrated, but you can't let it get the best of you. So I just thought, if we get anything right, 3 out of 3 PRs, it's going to be the deadlift. And lo and behold, it was the deadlift.
Solid conventional pull from Mike Hernandez with 3 white lights. That puts him at a 487.5 kilo total.
We PR'd at 473 pounds. We finally got it on a stiff bar. So to me, that's more impressive than hitting it on a deadlift bar. But again, to each their own, and talent is talent. So I felt really good. On paper, 5 out of 9. Probably the most garbage meet that you could have outside of bombing out. But nonetheless, we hit PRs. And we're 100 pounds, 111 pounds stronger than what we did last year at the H-Town Showdown. So in a year, we stayed the exact same weight, and we went up by 111 pounds on our total, which is just freaking fantastic. We hit PRs technically on everything at that body weight. So I feel really, really good about that. I know it kind of sounds like I'm trying to convince myself that I did good, But at the end of the day, it really is just that. We did really, really good. And the expectation is super high because of social media. And sometimes as an athlete, I want it to be that high. I want to reach, the sky. But as a coach, I have to understand that, you're going to have your wins. Take your wins. Back on the wall there, I don't know if you can see the sun is starting to go down, but all of those are just participation trophies. And that's really all I can get right now. Maybe one day we'll get to the point where we're actually competitive. But for now, I'll take my wins wherever I can get them, I guess. A win is a win. Anyway, in a year, we not only gained 111 pounds on our total, but we also lost 5 pounds of fat and gained 5 pounds of lean tissue. So we're doing good. We're doing really good. And if anything, this just proves that you can do pretty much as you want to do in the garage gym. Yeah, I have been training at a commercial space for a little bit of time now, but most of my prep was right here. And I gotta say, I really, really love it. I still love it. After 3 years of being here at this house in this garage, it's working. So I hope you find this as a testament. I hope you understand that you probably shouldn't do more than one meet in a month. Maybe even spread out your meets by as much as you can so you can have a good building phase or a hypertrophy phase and then a strength phase and then a peaking block, as opposed to trying to get all the meets done in one peaking block. Again, I thought as far as load goes, it would make sense. Maybe you could even, kind of deal with a little bit of fatigue here and there and not as many training days. But turns out that did not work. And I mostly blame it on meat fatigue. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Give this video a like if you like this type of content. I will start making some garage gym equipment content pretty soon. I just have to take a little trip and then we'll be right back. So subscribe and tell your friends. I will see you guys in the next flex.